Hello, students. I hope you are all fine and in good health. So, let me continue from where I left in my previous audio presentation. Uh, in my previous audio presentation, I had left in this line. Sorry, sir, I got carried away because when Taplow had spoken what was there in his mind, and when he told that the man's hardly human, it seems that he realized it later that he went too far and he told many things that he should not have told a colleague of Crocker Harris. And then he apologized to Frank for his misconduct. But Frank uh, um, told to Taplow that yes, you went too far. You should not have told all these things about a colleague of mine by the name of Crocker Harris. So let me continue. Now, as I told you previously in my at the end of my audio lecture, that in my next audio lecture I will start with the dialogue of Frank. So let me continue. Frank, what was that Crocker Harris said to you? Just repeat it, would you? Now Frank is enjoying the way Taplow had did a sort of mimicry or impersonation of the voiceover of Crocker Harris. Frank enjoyed it because in the teaching fraternity, as I already told you, everyone is jealous of Crocker Harris, and young teachers like Frank who seek attention of the students but found that Crocker Harris is getting on the limelight despite he being a very strict teacher. He is enjoying this sort of impersonation that was being made by Taplow related to his voice, and he wanted Taplow to perform that act of impersonating the voice of Crocker Harris once again because he thoroughly enjoyed the entire procedure and he wanted Taplow to repeat it once again. So Taplow, he had no other way out. So he went on repeating it. See, imitating again. My dear Taplow, I have given you exactly what you deserve, no less, and certainly no more. Now, this dialogue, what Crocker Harris told Taplow, he repeated it, but not in his own voice. He impersonated the voice of Crocker Harris. Why? And this is the second time that we are reading this particular dialogue, because previously also in we get to know about this dialogue. The reason why it has been repeated once again, because Frank really liked the way Taplow impersonated or did a mimicry of the voice of Crocker Harris. So he wanted Frank to repeat it once again for him. And that is the reason this dialogue has been repeated. And Frank thoroughly enjoyed it once again. Frank looking severe, but he enjoyed it, but he is behaving in a very strict manner to actually frighten and make Taplow more nervous. See here, Frank, in bracket it is written looking severe. Severe means very serious. Not in the least like him. Read your nice Aeschylus and be quiet. Now it seems that he had to scold, but literally speaking, at the back of his mind, he enjoyed this act or this performance of impersonation that was being done by Taplow, but he can't show his emotion in that way to Taplow. That won't project him in a good light, because ultimately at the end of the day, Crocker Harris is his colleague. So he was a bit strict. He got a bit strict, or we can say in a very dead serious manner. He told Taplow that please be quiet now and go on reading your Aeschylus. That is the book that is in your hand. Go on reading that. So see this line, Frank looking severe, not in the least like him. Read your nice Aeschylus and be quiet. Taplow with dislike. Aeschylus? Sir, you want me to read this? This is a very boring book. Do you want me to go through this? Frank, look, what time did Crocker Harris tell you to be here? Taplow, 6:30, sir. Well, he's 10 minutes late. Why don't you cut? Why don't you cut means why don't you leave? Again, you see, here in this context of the dramas, few meanings are, few meanings are very different. Okay, what meaning of few words, what we know, but in the context of the drama, few meanings are entirely different. They mean entirely different. So from the context of the drama, cut actually means Frank wanted Taplow to leave the place because already time passed by. because Crocker Harris told Frank to come by 6:30, but he is already 10 minutes late. So Frank told Taplow that why don't you leave the place now? You can come later. Now, why Frank is so much eager uh, to say so to Taplow? The reason behind it, if when Taplow will leave that place, then only he can meet with Millay Crocker Harris, because he came to meet with Millay Crocker Harris, but because of Taplow, he can't engage in his illicit love affair with Millay Crocker Harris because Taplow is present there. And so the reason behind it, behind Frank of saying it to Taplow, that if Taplow leave the place, then only he can actually have a conversation with Millay Crocker Harris. That is the reason he told, why don't you cut? You could still play golf before lockup. Actually, lockup is something that is related with prison and jail, right? Or jail. But lockup here means that it is still evening before the sun sets. So you can go and you can play golf or whatever sports along with your friends before you have to go and settle in your house. That is the meaning of the term lockup. So you can come later. Why don't you leave now? Because already your teacher for whom you are waiting supposedly should have arrived by 6:30, but he's already 10 minutes late. So why don't you cut right now, or why don't you move out of the house right now, and you can play a bit and then you come later? Now, why there is a sense of urgency that can be felt in this dialogue of Frank? Because the moment Taplow will go out of the house, he can actually date Crocker Harris's wife, who is also waiting for Frank by the name of Millay Crocker Harris. And for your kind information, dear students, let me say to you, let me remind it to you that Millay Crocker Harris is actually looking at the proceedings from his house, from her house. So let me continue. Taplow really shocked. Oh no, I couldn't cut. Cut the crock, Mr. Crocker Harris. No, sir, I can't go. Because supposedly if sir comes and obviously if he get to know that I was here and since he got late, I had to go back, he would be very angry with me, sir. So, sir, I can't leave this place right now. Cut the crock, Mr. Crocker Harris. I shouldn't think it's ever been done in the whole time he's been here. God knows what would happen if I did. He would probably follow me home or something. Now, if I go out from this place and if he gets the information that I came, I waited, and then I waited for long, but since he was not present, I went back home, he would be furious, he would be livid with anger, because if it would have been other teachers, I would have done this, but it is related with Crocker Harris, sir, I can't do that. Now, if he gets to know that I came to his house, I waited, but since he was absent from his house, so I went back, he would be livid and furious with anger, and out of that livid anger and becoming totally furious, he might visit my own house, and then I would get double scolding, sir. So I can't leave, I will stay back, sir, because as you know, he's a very strict teacher. I could have done it if it would have been in case of other teacher, but in case of Crocker Harris, sir, I'm very sorry, I can't do that. So let me actually continue this line once again so that the meaning of the line be very much clear to all of you, dear students. I shouldn't think it's ever been done in the whole time he has been here. God knows what would happen if I did. He would probably follow me home or something. If I go back home, he would probably follow me home, and that won't be good for me, sir. Frank, I must admit, I envy him. The effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. Yes, I envy him. I'm really jealous of him because he had a magnetic presence in the classroom. It seems that despite he's very strict with no sense of humor, he never jokes in the class. Despite all that, the students really admire, respect, and appreciate him a lot. And I really envy him. The effect he had on you all boys in the form. Form, as I already told you, some words meanings are entirely different. What we know and what is suggested here in the context of the drama, it is totally different, because form means inside the school classroom, as I told you earlier yesterday. So Frank is saying that, very frankly he's admitting that I am very much jealous of Crocker Harris, because the way he deals with all the students, despite he's very strict, he had a magnetic personality, and it seems that his class control is very much commendable. And this is the part on which I am very, very jealous, like the other teachers related with him. So I repeat, dear students, this particular dialogue of Frank, I must admit I envy him. The effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. Form means inside the school classroom. You all seem scared to death of him. What does he do? Beat you all or something? That whenever you listen to the name of Crocker Harris, all of a sudden there is an alertness on the face of every student. What exactly he does? Do he beat you all ruthlessly? That what exactly he does? That whenever you all listen or hear about Crocker Harris, all of a sudden you all become dead serious. What exactly he does? Good Lord, no, he's not a sadist like one or two of the others. Sadist means a person who enjoys inflicting pain on others. Now, Taplow is saying, Good Lord, no, he's not a sadist, sir. He never beats us like that way. Some of the teachers really beats us, but he's not a sadist like the others. I beg your pardon. A sadist, sir, is someone who gets pleasure out of giving pain. It seems that the term sadist, Frank is unaware of the meaning of sadist, so it was elaborately been clarified to him by Taplow that he is not a sadist. And sir, actually, is a sadist is a person who enjoys inflicting pain on others, who gets pleasure out of giving pain to others. But Crocker Harris is not like that. Frank, indeed. But I think you went on to say that some other masters. But look at the curiosity of Frank. He is very much eager to get any sort of information. He's very much eager to get whatever information he can from Taplow related with other teachers. This is his mentality, very cheap mentality. Because see this line, indeed, but I think you went on to say that some other masters, then there are some dots. Okay, the dialogue is continued but not been written. That means Frank is curious to know about other teachers who are sadist. When Taplow told that Crocker Harris is not a sadist, then Frank told him that you refer to other masters. Could you name them? Look at his cheap-minded mentality. Look at his curiosity in order to know about the other teachers, being himself a teacher in the same school. This is his cheap mentality, and we get a glimpse of his cheap mentality here also. So dear students, I stop right now here in this audio presentation. In my next audio presentation, I will continue from the next dialogue, and the next dialogue is of Taplow. I will continue from the next dialogue in my next class, in my next audio class. So dear students, kindly go through it. Kindly listen very attentively to whatever I had discussed in this audio lecture. And if there is any doubt, please don't hesitate. Kindly let me know. I will clarify all your doubts to the best of my ability. Thank you, students. Thank you all.